The massive warship descended through the clouds above New York City on a Tuesday afternoon. It was the size of Manhattan itself, casting a shadow that blocked out the sun. The vessel belonged to the Zorthian Empire, rulers of 17 galaxies and conquerors of over 3,000 inhabited worlds. Commander Vexer stood at the bridge, his purple scales gleaming under the artificial lights. His four eyes scanned the primitive planet below with absolute confidence. This would be an easy conquest. His intelligence officers had studied Earth for exactly 2 standard cycles. They had cataloged humanity's weapons, their governments, and their population centers. Everything suggested a species ripe for domination. Vexer activated the Universal Broadcast System. His image would now appear on every screen, every device, every surface capable of displaying information across the entire planet. He had practiced this speech for days. It was the same speech that had brought countless civilizations to their knees. "Creatures of Earth," Vexer began, his voice deep and menacing. "I am Commander Vexer of the Eternal Zorathian Regime. Your planet has been selected for integration into our glorious empire. Resistance is not recommended. Your weapons are primitive. Your technology is laughable. Your military capabilities have been assessed and found wanting. You have exactly 1 rotation of your planet to surrender unconditionally. Failure to comply will result in total annihilation. This is not a negotiation. This is your only warning." Vexer ended the transmission and waited for the panic to begin. On every other world, this moment had been followed by chaos. Governments would scramble. Populations would flee to the countryside. Leaders would beg for mercy within hours. He settled into his command chair and prepared to receive the inevitable surrender communications. The first response came from a place called Twitter. Vexer's communications officer translated the incoming data streams with growing confusion. Someone had taken his broadcast image and added what appeared to be a small Earth hat to his head. The caption read, "Me when someone eats the last slice of pizza." This image had been shared 4 million times in the first 3 minutes. Vexer did not understand. He demanded clarification from his cultural analysis team. Meanwhile, on Earth, people were absolutely losing their minds with laughter. The aliens' dramatic entrance had interrupted millions of television programs, but instead of terror, humanity responded with its most powerful weapon. Memes began spreading faster than the Zorthian scanning systems could track. Someone edited Vexer's speech to include dramatic music from a movie called Star Wars. Another person added cartoon sound effects every time he blinked his 4 eyes. A teenager in Brazil created a dance to accompany the aliens' warning, and it went viral within the hour. News anchors tried to maintain professional composure, but several failed live on air. One reporter in Australia completely broke down laughing while attempting to deliver serious coverage. Sorry, she gasped between fits of giggles. "It's just, he looks exactly like the villain from that kid's show my daughter watches." The United Nations did convene an emergency session, as Vexer had expected. What he did not expect was the content of their discussions. Representatives argued not about surrender terms, but about who would get to respond to the aliens first. Several nations claimed the right based on having the best comedians. The French delegation insisted their response should include interpretive mime. The British representative suggested they simply send a formal letter expressing mild disappointment in the aliens' manners. Commander Vexer received reports of these proceedings with mounting disbelief. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Craxus, approached him nervously. "Commander, the humans appear to be mocking us." Vexer's scales darkened with anger. "That is impossible. No species mocks the Zorthian Empire. We have destroyed civilizations for lesser insults. Nevertheless, sir, their communication networks are flooded with humorous content regarding your announcement. Someone has created a song. It has been viewed 70 million times already. On the planet's surface, life continued mostly unchanged. People went to work. Children attended school. The stock market dipped slightly, then recovered when investors realized the alien ship had not actually done anything threatening yet. A late-night television host devoted his entire program to roasting Commander Vexor's fashion choices, specifically questioning why an advanced civilization had apparently not discovered the concept of shirts. The military response was somewhat more organized, though even generals struggled to take the situation entirely seriously. Earth's combined nuclear arsenals were placed on standby, but the mood in war rooms around the world was closer to curiosity than fear. Humanity had spent decades imagining alien invasions through movies, books, and games. The reality seemed somehow less impressive than fiction had prepared them for. One general, a woman named Chun from China's Strategic Command, summarized the prevailing military opinion during a secure video conference. Their ship is large, yes, but they have made several tactical errors. They announced themselves before attacking. They gave us a deadline instead of acting immediately. And most importantly, they assumed we would be afraid. This suggests either overconfidence or inexperience with actual resistance. 20 hours into Vexor's deadline, Earth's official response finally came. It was delivered by a coalition of world leaders, though the content had been heavily influenced by public polling conducted over social media. The response was broadcast directly to the Zorethian vessel. "Dear Commander Vexor and the Eternal Zorethian Regime," the message began, read by a spokesperson chosen specifically for her deadpan delivery. "Thank you for your interest in our planet. After careful consideration, we have decided to decline your generous offer of integration. We understand this may be disappointing, and we appreciate you thinking of us. However, we are quite happy with our current arrangement of arguing among ourselves and slowly destroying our own environment. We wish you the best of luck with your empire and hope you find a more cooperative planet soon. Please don't contact us again. Warmest regards, Earth." Vexor's reaction was immediate and violent. He ordered his weapon systems activated. The great cannons of the Zorethian warship hummed to life, gathering energy for a devastating first strike. This insolent species would learn the price of mockery. The first plasma burst struck the ocean near the coast of Japan. It created a massive wave and boiled several cubic kilometers of seawater into steam. This, Vexor assumed, would finally generate the appropriate terror response. Instead, within minutes, the incident had been named the Great Bath by internet users. Someone created a rubber duck larger than a building and floated it near the strike zone. Environmental groups issued statements of concern about the affected marine life, but their tone suggested more annoyance than fear. The Japanese Prime Minister appeared on television looking distinctly irritated, as if dealing with a rude neighbor rather than an alien attack. More concerning for Vexor were the reports from his engineering section. The plasma strike had revealed something unexpected. Humanity's planet possessed an unusually powerful magnetic field. This field had absorbed and dispersed much of the weapon's energy. Calculations suggested that destroying a significant portion of the surface would require far more power than originally estimated. Additionally, something strange was happening to the warship systems. The constant flood of human digital communications was beginning to affect Zorethian computers. The species broadcast so much data so continuously that it was creating interference. Someone had somehow uploaded a virus disguised as a video of a small Earth creature called a cat. The virus was spreading through the ship's entertainment systems and replacing all audio with a repetitive, strangely catchy song. Vexor ordered the virus purged, but more appeared. Humans, it seemed, were extraordinarily skilled at creating malicious software. They had been practicing on each other for decades. On the ground, humanity's military response finally began in earnest. It was not the panicked defensive action Vexor had expected. Instead, it was calculated and surprisingly coordinated. Thousands of missiles launched simultaneously from dozens of nations. These were followed by experimental weapons that various governments had apparently been hiding from each other. Lasers, electromagnetic pulses, and kinetic projectiles filled the sky. None of these weapons destroyed the Zorithian vessel, but they didn't need to. They were designed to damage, to probe, to test. Each strike provided data about the alien ship's shields, its weak points, its energy signatures. Humanity was not trying to win immediately. They were gathering information while appearing to resist. Vexor received damage reports with growing alarm. His shields were holding, but they were being depleted faster than expected. The humans were adapting their attack patterns in real time, learning and adjusting with each volley. Worse, his ground intelligence reported that factories across the planet were already converting to weapons production. Earth's industrial capacity was enormous, far greater than his analysts had estimated. 40 hours after his arrival, Commander Vexor faced an uncomfortable realization. He had expected a terrified species begging for mercy. Instead, he had encountered a civilization that responded to existential threats with jokes, adapted to new challenges with frightening speed, and possessed a stubborn refusal to take anything seriously. Even as his weapons struck their cities, humans were posting humorous content about the experience. A man had live-streamed himself grilling meat on a fire started by a plasma strike, his viewers numbering in the millions. The final blow came from an unexpected source. A team of hackers, working together from 17 different countries, had been probing the warship's communication system since the first hour of contact. They finally found a vulnerability through the entertainment network, which had been weakened by the earlier virus attacks. Vexor's image appeared on every screen again, but this time he was not in control. Someone had gained access to the ship's internal cameras. The broadcast showed Commander Vexor in his private quarters, wearing what appeared to be comfort garments, watching the cat videos that had infected his entertainment system. He was smiling. The laughter that followed this broadcast was loud enough to be detected by the warship's external sensors. 3 hours later, the Zorithian vessel began its departure. Commander Vexor sent no final message. He simply left, the great ship rising through the atmosphere and vanishing into the darkness between stars. His official report to the Zorithian High Command would claim that Earth possessed unexpectedly advanced defensive capabilities and was not worth the resources required for conquest. He would not mention the laughter. Earth celebrated its victory in typical fashion. There were parties, parades, and an immediate increase in production of alien-themed merchandise. The spot where the plasma strike hit the ocean became a tourist destination. Several nations claimed credit for the successful defense, then went back to arguing about other matters. Somewhere in the galaxy, in a bar frequented by spacefaring species, a traveler who had witnessed the entire incident told the story to disbelieving listeners. The story spread, as stories do. It grew with each telling, becoming legend and then warning. Earth, the story said, was protected by a species that could not be intimidated, could not be demoralized, and could not stop making jokes even in the face of annihilation. Future empires reviewed their conquest lists and quietly removed the small blue planet from consideration. Some things, they decided, were simply not worth the trouble.